Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone.
What's up? It's me, your boy, Joey. And this is Joey Analyzes Chess. I wanted to go over a game I played on my Twitch stream the other day. I do a Twitch stream. It's twitch.tv/hauntedsink. Like a sink that was haunted. Think about that. Um, think about that when you wake up in the middle of the night. And then that's all you can think about. You're just laying there like you can't move. You just feel dread. Anyway, pardon me. I thought it was a really good game. It was on my Twitch stream, and I got challenged to a game by a player who's much higher rated, 22-26 in the rapid category. So we're playing a 10+0 game. At first, I thought it was someone who would come to my Twitch stream because of seeing it on my Twitter or being a fan of my books or things. Because with 10 people watching, I figure mostly they're just fans of A Softer World or Lockpick Pornography or something who are also happen to just want to watch me play chess for three fucking hours. But no, I think he just wandered in because it was tagged chess, and he does his own chess stream. Because you can't see it here. In the chat, I was making references to my previous videos and being like, I hope your blood tastes good and things like that. And he did not seem to know what was going on. He was like, I do not understand your blood comment. Which, fair enough. Fair enough. If I've made a false assumption about who you are, then the blood comments are gonna be a little impolite. But he was great. He stayed around in the whole Twitch stream. I followed him. We played some Blitz games later, where he decimated me. But this longer time control game, I really felt I tried my best, and I wanted to go through and see where I messed up. I thought that would be an interesting thing to do. So I'm white, and I play the English. The English is what I play as white. He responds with knight f6, which is a move I don't see very often. The main moves I see in response to the English are this, which is the main line, and this, which is the symmetrical. And actually, to be honest, I see this a lot. Although this is not a good position. It's like a Scandinavian sort of, except I've got both my center pawns. It's just better. It just seems better for white. So knight f6. I didn't know what to think of that. So I just continue with my next natural move, which is I want more control over d5. I mean, knight f6 is challenging my control over d5 right away. And then he goes to fianchetto. I follow through with my plan, put my bishop on g2. His bishop goes to g7. This seems all really logical. We're both fighting for control of the center from the flank. I bring my knight out. He castles. I castle. All of this feels pretty natural to me. We both have relatively not super ambitious plans so far. Well, maybe we've got plans, but our moves are pretty conservative. I've got a little more space, but other than that, the position is equal. And so he opens up this diagonal for his bishop and maybe prepares to do. At this point, I'm thinking he's preparing to go e4, e5. This is maybe a bit this is maybe a bit of an overextension. I mean, this pawn, rock solid here for now. Helps me maintain control of both of these squares. Putting it further up gives him this square for his knight, and there's nothing I can do to easily kick it. Not like a pawn that can kick it. This one, but I've got to get him out of the way first. Maybe this is a bit aggressive, especially with all my pieces undeveloped. But it's what I played. D3 might be stronger though. I am not sure. We'll look with a computer afterward. I play D4. He develops his knight there, which, like, the knight on D7 is not great. It doesn't have these squares to jump to, but it does support an E5 or a C5 push, in addition to this pawn support, which at this point I think maybe is what he's doing. The other idea I had about what might be going on at this point was that he was preparing to fianchetto as well. He also just might be trying to like maintain control against what looks like me aggressively trying to claim the center, you know? This knight controls this square and this square, so it counters this pawn. And this pawn also controls these two squares, so he's adding more control to the center than I have currently. I developed my knight there because if that feels like the natural place for the knight in the English. So got three pieces controlling here. This is sort of indirectly controlling D5 because the knight's in the way. But this doesn't feel like a mistake or anything like that. This all feels very natural. He does make an E5 push, and I have this impression that comes almost exclusively just from watching other YouTubers and reading a book I have on the English that. So I have this impression that this position with these two pawns here and the knight here is a strong position for white. Now maybe there's subtleties about this that I'm missing. Like maybe this is just like this pattern. These three here is definitely a part of something black doesn't want. But I don't understand the idea behind it, I think. But so I was not afraid of them taking like that. I just went for more of the center. I mean, this knight in that position, in this position, which he doesn't go for, you know, I've got no isolated pawns. I've got this knight is ready to jump. Like if he does try and fianchetto, like it's possible that this knight will have some good squares eventually, or it's got good retreat squares. It controls a lot from the center of the board there, and it's protected, soon to be indirectly protected by my fianchettoed bishop, if that's what I decide to do. That's not what he does. He just adds brings his rook to the e file, which is indirectly adding an attacker to a piece that's only defended once. I bring my rook to the e file to add a defender. Then he takes. I take back, and he jumps in right there. Now at this point, my first inclination is to kick him like this. But I don't have time for that because this pawn here hangs. So I have to go and defend that. b3. He throws a punch at my queen. And here I worried a little too much about this square, I think. Because I went like this. When I think that's not the right move here. Just putting my queen somewhere. This knight and this bishop both control this square. You know, this piece hangs now, but like say he does this. Yeah, I guess I've got this, and then what? I can't take because of the fork, but I could just keep developing. And if he takes, I take. He's getting in some places that I don't like. So anyway, I definitely maybe could have handled that better. This is a move that I will definitely. I wonder if you could bookmark moves. This is definitely a move that I'll want to look at in the with the computer just to see what the computer suggests, because I mean maybe yeah, f3, blocking in my bishop. He just pulls his back. Inketo. At this point, maybe I would have been better off just kicking this knight. He might have just come right back, but then I can. Well, it's hard. It's hard. So I fianchetto. He pulls back. I felt like this is maybe helping him out a bit. But in that case, yeah. I want to get my queen to this square. So anyway, I defended that knight twice, 3 times. I took with my knight, and he put a pawn there, taking up a little more space. I have a lot more space at this point. I'm feeling, I mean, this bishop feels stupid, but this knight has no squares to go to except for retreat squares, and I want to put my queen on one of his retreat squares. So soon he's only going to have one. But it feels like he might at some point potentially have a valuable reveal. This piece is blocked in on its own diagonal. There's a pawn on almost every possible square that this piece could control. So this is a bit of an idiot piece right here. I haven't connected my rooks yet. Neither is he. My king safety is not great. So the only thing I have going for me here is I have more space. Not a lot of way to use it. Bring a rook to the c file. And yeah, here I wasn't sure what the fuck was going on. Oh, he's pinning me. Okay, here he pins me. I played this game a couple of days ago, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm analyzing it, and I don't really have access to what my thought process at the time was. He's pinning the knight to the king. Doesn't have a way to add. Oh, I guess some kind of reveal with this knight doesn't have any squares either. I guess this knight can go here, and then he's got two attackers on it. If I've got two defenders on it, if he does this with a pawn, then it's not pinned anymore, and he can just jump away. So he brings this queen out, this quasi pin. I just go back. This feels like a pretty safe diagonal. I mean, it's useless for my fucking bishop, but it feels pretty safe. And yeah, now's when it occurs to me that it might be trying to make some kind of break in the center here. Challenge my spatial advantage. So I want to get off the same file, and this, at first I interpreted it as the beginning of like some kind of pawn attack on like pawn storming my king, because maybe it's a bit weakening, maybe it's not though. I mean, this is more of a fortress than one going the other way, right? Like all of his pieces are under here, or can get under here, whereas like the king behind here, these are the spaces he's vulnerable. With the fortress this way, these are the spaces where I'm vulnerable. But what I think he's really doing is, if I make this push, he gets this fucking great square for. I mean, it's not really central, but that's a great square for his bishop, or for his. If it's his bishop, it controls here. If it's his knight, it controls like a checking square, a possible forking square, uh, you know, even a mating square if things go really wrong for me. So I think that's what this was about. That was like, have some support on this square if I start pushing. I centralize the other rook, and just pulls his bishop back. Yeah, there's not a lot for that bishop to do, so there's no sense in having it interfere with the rook's control down this file. That was a smart move. Yeah. I'm not sure about this. I wanted a square for my king to go if things got bad on the back rank somehow. But this one bishop is protecting both of these pawns. I mean, the knight is helping to protect this one for now, but that's an easily kicked knight. This pawn has no defender. Once my king gets here, maybe, then this is a little safer, but I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure what I was afraid of. I think I was still interpreting this as maybe the beginnings of a pawn storm. He pulls his knight back. I mean, this is a good square for the knight. Threatens here. If this queen, well, things start opening up along here. Threatens to jump here, and it still has access to this square if things go the way that he wants. Yeah, or it could be part of some bigger repositioning. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It opens up this bishop, so I bring my king back. I want king safety. Also, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I'm a little intimidated at this point. I mean, I'm rated 1652, and I'm letting his 2226 intimidate me. Like I'm being maybe more cautious than I normally would. So exert some control down here. I mean, maybe I could have just kicked him back with bishop to here. Um, yeah, and he's got to go just right back, right? And my bishop's no worse there than it was there. Queen now protects this. Maybe he comes in here. But I feel like that's... It's a little closer to getting... I don't see a trap right away, but... You know, I can start thinking about trying to trap this thing, you know? Something like this, and then... I guess he's always got these far back squares. Anyway, that's a little off topic. That's not what I did. I just pushed the a3 pawn, which I think is fine. I want eventually these pawns to start moving. If he does a push, you know, it would be nice to be able to, like, I could push this with tempo, then I can push this, and I've got this is pretty strong pawn chain, I think. I've got lots of defenders on this pawn, so. And now he does push to, like, make a little break here, and yeah. What I was worried about, I guess, was I was worried I didn't want to do this. I definitely didn't want to do this, because there it might, you know, that's a, how am I getting rid of this fucking thing, right? I do this, but I'm not doubling up there. Maybe I double up here, but like that's a thorn in my side, you know. That's I don't want that, you know. And I don't want to do this. I mean, there's no king safety here. This is like, this feels unsafe, very unsafe to me. So what I did this, thinking he'd do this, and I did this, and I don't see how this is any safer. I mean, I'm fighting off ghosts, I think, with that pawn move. My king's coming in closer to the center. He's got a queen that can, like, be over here in a heartbeat. Yeah, or like a knight that's jumping in. I think this might be the position. The mistake might have been setting up this and then putting my queen here and underestimating this. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm both underestimating it and overreacting to it. So maybe I overestimated it and then put myself into a situation where it actually had power, you know? I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, the computer's not going to be able to tell me that, but did that. Of course he takes. Knight does jump there. Yeah, that's a threat. That's a threat to win this pawn. Queen coming over is a threat. Even bishop here is a threat, because if the knight jumps here, all right, the knight jumps there, then bishop taking here, and it's all getting really ugly for me. I feel like at this point. So I brought this up thinking that I could at least take this knight if it comes here. Comes there anyway. I take. Queen takes. So now his queen's right in my position. I'm ready for a queen trade. Like things are gone. Things have gone. And look at the amount of time that I took on this move. So okay. So bishop takes h5. I used 26 seconds deciding whether to take that knight. Didn't use any time thinking about that. And then me going queen e2, I spent 3.1 seconds thinking about that. I think maybe I should have spent a little more time thinking about whether he could do this. You know? Like maybe a smarter move would have been to do this. Or I mean, I think that's the move. That's the move I've got to do. I've got to put protection on this fucking pawn here. Ah. Anyway, so you can guess what happens. Queen here. King retreats. The only square. Bishop comes in, attacks my queen. That's I feel like maybe what about this move? No, because then he gets in, and then he's doubled up on it, and then actually he could just. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I don't know. So I block with the knight. This, of course, is gonna hang at the end of that. I didn't think that through. I was like, this will be an even trade. He takes, I take his queen, he takes my bishop, I take that. Fine, we're fine. No, I drop a piece. That's I mean, my king safety was bad, but dropping this piece is where he won the game, right? Like that's where the game is just lost. He's got a hell of an attack here. Like I wouldn't be surprised in this situation if he was what's the material? 3, 6, 6. It's dead even on material. I would not be surprised if he was if the score at this point was like -2 or 2.5. Something like that. Like he's got I'm very exposed. I think he's got a very strong attack. So that I think this had to be my move there. I didn't get it in. And then here I think I'm already lost. Like I don't this piece is hanging uh, while the attack is going on. So I'm very limited in what I can do that's not going to expose it to some kind of skewer. I can give up the exchange. Maybe I should have given up the exchange. He takes. I take. He takes. I take back. Like, I like this position. I've got at least I've got a piece for a rook. You know, that's better than being down the whole bishop. And actually, I feel pretty good about my. I mean, he's taking this right away. And now he's doubled up on this. I come here. It is. It's you know what? It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest, but I feel like it's better. It's better. So we'll look at that line too, maybe if I remember. All right. Okay. So let's see how it actually played through. I blocked, dropping my bishop, and then immediately dropping a pawn. I should have gone like this. I do this instead. Yeah. And that was when I resigned. Should have gone like that to save the pawn. Because this drops, first of all, this drops a pawn. But second of all, I did not see this fucking age-old classic. Just, and like, look how little time I spent on that. 5 seconds. Like, I'm playing against someone. I have 2.5 minutes left. Wait, no. Yeah, I have. Bishop takes. Yeah, rook d2. I have at least 2.5 minutes left at this point. I do not need to be rushing my moves against a 2200 player. Like, ah, when there's a bishop on the board, I try to always remember, like, okay, it's a dark square bishop. Keep my pieces on light squares. Let's stay on light squares to avoid trickiness. It's like a shorthand for looking at candidate moves. I'll look at candidate moves that go to light squares first, just because there's a chance they're safer. This just was like, oh, another dark square. Like, it should have had alarm bells in my head. I mean, should have doesn't help. I'm basically on tilt now. I'm down a piece. Now I'm going down the exchange. Yeah. So I resigned. And it fell apart. This queen swings over so quick to get into the attack. But I think it fell apart. Like, this is not the safest for my king, but I mean, I'm you know, I'm swatting at ghosts here, and it actually gives him something to attack on the king side. It gives him something that's like within one pawn push of like, now we're jumping in, we're getting a lot of hits in. Everything comes with tempo, um, you know, and I'm not taking a lot of time to think things through. Yeah, everything comes with tempo. And see, I didn't take, 3 seconds is not enough time when you're in a position that's this dangerous. It's very sharp. I'm not playing bullet. I'm playing blitz or rapid. Um, but it was a very enjoyable game, and I think that's the strongest player that I've played yet. Uh, so now let's take a look and see how badly the computer thinks that I did. Computer analysis. Let's go back to the very first, this graph down here. We'll just take a quick look at this graph, which is like, this parts are parts where I'm up, and then I'm down, and then, but there's like, up until the middle game, it's keeping it pretty even, and then there's the fucking ocean floor of, and I bet this is around where my pawn moves were, but let's look through it. Let's look through it. Okay, so the English. So apparently this knight f6 is the Anglo-Indian defense. This is all pretty standard like I thought. Doesn't mind me trying to grab more of the center. Does it like... Why did Stockfish turn off when I did that? Yeah, it actually, it likes D4 better than D3. I maintain my, whatever, third of a pawn advantage, but this goes to dead even right away. After it thinks for a while, it doesn't even give me 0.1, it gives me 0. So, it likes this. I don't want to get too fiddly with like tenths of a pawn in how it thinks I reacted. Here I'm still half a pawn advantage. And then when I bring my rook out, it goes down to minus whatever, a tenth of a pawn. But I lose like half a pawn in one move. So what does it suggest instead? It wants me to push. It wants me to just lock shit down. Yeah. And I'm not against that. I should have considered that. I don't mind the pawn tension, and I was like being kind of obsessive about that knight in between the two pawns, like thinking that was like good, but you know, a closed position with a lot of pieces on the board is I'm actually pretty comfortable in something like that. Like I see things better in a closed position. So I mean, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be so hesitant to close the position down. I do that. He takes. It says dead even now. I take, which Stockfish can't decide is better for me or for there. It keeps switching back and forth. Negative 0.3, positive +1, positive +2. Now that jumps me up like half a pawn for some reason, and yeah, it thinks b3 was the move I had to do, and then now it's almost a full pawn in my advantage. What does it want? What does it want? Okay, f3. Any other move like? Oh yeah, okay. So like the other moves. The other moves like drop a whole pawn. So I made the right choice, I guess, by playing f3. Locking in my bishop, but you know, he has to go back. And then are there any moves that it's suggesting? Bishop g5. Yeah. I really think that's not a move I would ever consider here. Like, yeah, it pins this knight to the queen, but look at this diagonal. Look at all of the pieces on this diagonal with my rook, the prize, hanging at the end with his bishop. I would like my bishop to be here. That's this is actually kind of a funny position. All these knights lined up on the diagonal. Okay, so he jumps his knight back. It wants me to take his knight, but I don't. But it doesn't think my move is particularly bad. It doesn't like that. It wants me to take with the bishop. I mean, okay. I guess the bishop controls more squares from here. Fuck off. Controls more squares. I mean, it's controlling literally the most squares that it is possible for this bishop to control. What is this? What is this line? No. Anyway. So, I mean, that is a good spot for the bishop. I feel like it could be kicked really easily, but I mean, it's also the way that I did do it. Take it back with the knight. It's the most squares that the knight can possibly control too, right? Like, that knight's in I mean, it'd be nice if it was up a rank, like along this rank, uh, would be even stronger. But it's in one of these central four squares. It feels strong there. But Stockfish9 thinks that the bishop is stronger there. Half a pawn stronger, whatever fucking half a pawn is. Oh, maybe it wanted. No, definitely didn't want that. Okay. Okay, so I mean, I'm still almost a full pawn advantage. It's saying, and I think that's my initiative, my space control. At this point, I stopped, I think, and I looked at the board, and I thought, you know, I don't have the the best pieces in the world, but I have a lot of space. Um, you know, what did it want instead of that? Knight e2. It wanted me to retreat my knight, keep this diagonal open. Yeah, that's a smart move. I should have considered that. Adds to my king safety too. I didn't though. I brought this. This is like an instinctual move for me in the English, and maybe I should think about it more before I do shit like that. Because I don't know that this is the file that's going to open. If he does this move to kick this knight, this is a wasted rook move. Uh, you know. I mean, Stockfish doesn't like that move, but I'm just saying. I bring my rook in. We're almost even. Yeah, that queen move. Like, there's nothing drastic here until I move my king off the diagonal. And I drop like a pawn and a half. It just wants me to go queen d2 here. And everything stays the same. I keep my moderate, my very, very moderate advantage. I guess this is just like, there's still a light square bishop on board. I guess, yeah, I guess this is just, it's like negative a whole pawn. And going from a positive half pawn, so a pawn and a half, it really doesn't like that move. But that's the move I did. Yeah, this connects the rooks, continues my development. This is not a problem because of the reasons I said. It's protected once, twice. It's only attacked once. You know, you could do some kind of reveal and attack it a second time, but it's already, protected twice. And attacking with this pawn isn't a real attack, because then I can just retreat, and that's blocking off. That's blocking. That's stops the check. So yeah, like that move next, strong advantage for me. This move, you know, uh, then it wants me to go there. Then it thinks that's fine. All right. I don't understand computer valuations sometimes. Doesn't like me putting my queen on the light square. It drops another pawn and a half there. It wants queen d2. I guess maybe because I have this dark square bishop, and this light square bishop is kind of a stupid piece. So if I'm going to be working together with a bishop, it's going to be this guy. And I take away a retreat square from my knight. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Queen d2 is a smarter move. I wanted to get off the file with this, but there's a lot of shit between us. Okay. Computer didn't like that move by them. Me coming off that file with my rook, the computer didn't like. but only mildly. Mildly didn't like it. Opens up his. These half pawn jumps. I mean, I was expecting. I'm gonna be honest. I was expecting this to drop me a lot, like to be the move that fucking. Because I feel like this is when my king protection gets terrible. Hops his rook back. Okay, so that drops us down to dead even, putting my king there. I thought that was making me safer. Apparently, it was not making me safer. Even less than dead even. It gives him an advantage, and it wants him to make his break in the middle now. He does not. He does this. Now it wants me to go f4. Yeah, just start. Strengthening my king, I guess. Yeah. You should have considered that. F4 before this pawn move here is much better, I think. That it didn't like. Still thinks black has only a mild advantage. Did not like that move. It really wanted this move. Thinks that's only a mild advantage. But what about what about this? Check. It says that's an advantage for me now. Positive one advantage for me. Okay. King h1. Well, it's got my king back on a square that it likes. 1.6. All this shit that I was worried about, it doesn't give a fuck about. It thinks I'm a pawn and a half up here. Like, this guy seems like he's going to be really hard to get rid of. I guess just knight back to here, which is a move that it's wanted me to do for a while anyway. And he doesn't have this square because I've pushed this G pawn. So he's not jumping in. He's not jumping in quite so easy. Yeah, but that's not what I did. I did this. It gives him a strong advantage. Well, like, he's a pawn. It's a pawn advantage, it says. Still in his favor. That makes it a 2-pawn advantage in his favor. And I think that's because of, well, almost 2-pawn. Yeah, 2-pawn advantage in his favor. And I think that's because of the sequence that follows. Like, they're doubled up on this. This is where it's going to drop. This queen move. -7. Ugh. Okay, so this is the move I said I should have looked at. Yeah, and that's holding on. It's still just -2 here. Eventually I'll be retreating my king, I guess. Once I get another protector, bring this rook over maybe. Oh my fuck. Yeah, that move. And I spent 3 seconds. I was like, yes, queen trade. Let's kill his attack. Queen trade. Forgot about this fucker on the back rank. And yeah, shit's just falling apart for me here. Down. Yeah, that's strong follow up. And you know what? The move that I did is the best move in the position. That's what Stockfish wants me to do. Even though it drops my bishop. It actually thinks he was stupid for trading. Oh no, it wants to trade like this. And then queen takes. And yeah, and then it wants to pick the bishop up. King f1. It wants to pick the bishop up with the... Does it? No, it still wants to take... Yes, it just wants to keep the queens on the board for some reason. I mean, that seems... That seems strange. Oh, that protects it though, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, now what happened? I block, take, takes like that, and yeah, it wants a4. I'm -6. I'm down one piece. Actually, I guess I'm down a piece and a pawn, but which is 4 points of material, but it's saying -6.3. This is just a fucking dangerous position. That's not what I did though. I did this. This is only 1 point difference from if I had played a smarter move. Rook D to D1 takes. I can take like this, protect the pawn. -7. -7. He's a whole rook up. A rook and a pawn. Yeah. It's funny though. It's funny that this is only a pawn's difference from this. I guess it's because it keeps this. He keeps the his attacking piece on the board, and so it's got, you know, more. He's got more chances, more. But goddamn, back down in this fucking ocean of losing. But that was a great. I mean, it wasn't a great game. I didn't play it great, but I thought it was a really. Yeah, I made a. This is where it went from a long, slow loss where he grinds it out to just fucking cleaning up. But that's the strongest player I think I've ever played. And I mean, well into move 21, I was maintaining the slight advantage. So that's better than the game the other day I lost against a 1700 player where I was checkmated with Bowden's mate on move 14.